Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially you nephew, welcome back to another Riftbound video. And today we got another little sneak peek into set two, running the new leaders. We got Irelia and Azir today. I'm piloting the Irelia deck, or a Irelia deck. I gotta stop saying the, because it's only got a few upgrades for season two, that being the leader, of course, and then this feral strength, and then these new equipment gears as well. I don't think we're running any new characters. No, yeah, so it's just the gears and the spell to really buff this deck up. But my brother-in-law is playing Azir, Emperor of Sands, which of course the leader, and then these equipment gears that are new to this set. He's also running the same new spell that I am. But with that being said, we're just going to hop right into it, breaking down these decks so we can get right into the video today, because we got a lot to talk about, talking about two old decks. So Irelia, Blade Dancer. Her effect is when you choose a friendly unit, you may exhaust me and pay a recycle rune to ready it. When you conquer, you may pay one energy cost to ready me. So very technical deck, and or this deck specifically is pretty technical, because you have to know what it means to choose. We were debating on like that wording, choose a friendly unit, because cards like Feral Strength, obviously it's you give a unit, so you're choosing a unit to give it to. But I don't know if cards like Guardian or equipment cards mean the same. So this is like you choose a unit to attach it to. So technically you're choosing a unit, but this card just says attach this to a unit you control. So I don't know if that means the same in the ruling of that word. Same thing with this Zonia's Hourglass. The next time a friendly unit would die, kill this instead. We call that unit exhausted. So is that also choosing a unit? It's hard to tell. It's very hard to tell with the wording with this. So I hope there's somebody that can break down the exact ruling on what choosing a friendly unit is. Is it just like spells that like give a unit or remove a friendly unit, where you directly interact with them with said spell or effect? But things like this, I don't know if this is, yeah, it's just really worded. I wish they had used the same wording throughout. Like if this just said choose a friendly unit, the next time it would die, kill this, recall it instead. That makes more sense. The same thing, choose a friendly unit to attach this to. That would just make it simpler to understand with the wording of this card with everything else. But once we get an answer, you know, it's pretty much normal from there. So this build of Irelia, you can see I titled it Irelia Move, because I actually made two decks for this. But if you know me and have seen my videos, you know I love me a movement deck, so I had to build one with green and purple, because it's also Yasuo's colors. And so that's what I designed this deck to do. The fact that you ready the unit means that you can use movement spells like Flash. Ride the Wind already readies the unit. Movement spells like Flash, Tide Turner, to move a unit. Excuse me. But you are choosing said unit with these effects. Like this one specifically says, when you play me, you may choose a friendly unit. So that friendly unit you've chosen will be triggered by this ability. So then you can pay a rune to ready it, and then move it again. So that's sort of the design idea behind this deck. There's also other spells that get a little bit of a boost when it comes to this ability. Defy is just, you know, pretty basic. It's always good to have a counter spell in a green deck. Ride the Wind, like I said, you move a friendly unit, but this also readies it itself, so you don't have to recycle a rune, especially because this also recycles a rune. Meditation, very important. It says as an additional cost, you may exhaust a friendly unit. If you do, draw two, otherwise draw one. So with this, you can exhaust said friendly unit and then recycle the rune with her effect. So you can still draw 2, but you re-ready that unit using this effect. So this is just a pretty cool way to fix your hand. Feral Strength is one of the new cards. It's a reaction spell. It says give a unit +2 this turn, but it also has the new tag, which is repeat. So you can repeat this for 2 extra energy costs, and you get the spell effect again. So basically just cast it twice with the same card. So you can give a friendly unit +2, give a different friendly unit +2, use a Irelia effect to ready, whichever one you want to ready. Give the same same unit +2. And so forth and so on, which I actually just realized it doesn't say a friendly unit, so you can technically give this to the enemy. I don't know why you would want to do that, but it's possible. But a big spell in this deck is Last Stand. It says double a friendly unit's might this turn and give it temporary. Kill it at the start of the controller's beginning phase before scoring. This card I actually had in the Yasuo deck that I played before, but I ended up taking it out because what I will want to do with this card is attach it to the Yasuo, but the only gears or effects that I had to save it after giving it temporary would be the Zonia's Hourglass before. But now we have this gear, Guardian Angel. It says if I would die, kill Guardian Angel instead, heal me, exhaust me, recall me. So this is just another 3 cards that you can put in your deck that will save your units. So that really makes Last Stand a bit more consistent with less of a downgrade. And this also chooses a friendly unit. So if you wanted to use a bunch of runes in a turn, you can play the Yasuo out because this also recycles too. This recycle 1 and then recycle 1 with your ability. That recycles 4 runes in 1 turn, which is a lot. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Especially if you are attaching this Guardian Angel, that's another recycle rune. But you can double his effect, which means he'll be at 12 might. If he has this, he has an additional 1, so he actually goes up to 14. And then it says when I attack, deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit there. So you're nuking a unit just by attacking. Being at 14 might, and being at 14 might, you more than likely would have enough to good lord, to still win said fight if they had more units there. Because 14 is very, or 14 or 12. Let's just speak for 12 for now. Is a very hard total to get over in this game. So really strong in targeting this Yasuo with this Last Stand effect, and you're able to, just straight up win a battlefield. And then the other reasons why this Yasuo is in it, like I said, this is a move deck. So if you've already used this and won a battle, you can, Tide Turner it, switch it out, Tide Turner this to your base, switch his location with the Yasuo, so the Yasuo will come to your base active, and then you can attack the other battlefield with it. Or you can move it, choose it with Feral Strength or move it with Flash, or mostly Feral Strength or Last Stand to trigger the Blade Dancer or Irelia effect to restand it while buffing it with one of these and then attacking into the other battlefield. So he's just a really good unit, I think. Even if you weren't building this directly with the move aspect in mind, he's still just a really good unit in this deck. But because we are playing this with the move aspect in mind, we also are running the purple Yasuo. This is the 3rd time I move a turn, you score 1 point. So it's sort of the same thing that I was talking about with him. All these abilities to choose that Yasuo makes it so that you can ready it with the Blade Dancer, hopefully getting 3 moves in to score that extra point. We will talk about that in game later, but yeah. Other units are pretty standards. We got the Tide Turner, which I just went over, Traveling Merchant when I move discard 1, draw 1, Stalwart Pearl, Both of these, just good for curve. The Overzealous Fan is well good for curve, but also this effect is when I defend, you may kill me and move an attacking unit to its base. So this just allows you to delay your opponent's conquering, especially in the early game. Wielder of Water, just, a good attacker and defender when he's alone, especially with abilities to get him out and ready him, stacking up one of these other abilities. Battlefields for this deck is the Dreaming Tree, probably one of the best battlefields for a deck like this. It says when you choose a friendly unit with a spell here each turn, draw one. Or the first time you choose a friendly unit with a spell, each turn, draw one. So that's exactly what your leader wants to do. So really good battlefield here. Targon's Peak, when you conquer here, ready 2 runes at the end of the turn. This just helps you have your Flash ready, have your Pharaoh Strength ready, have your Ride the Winds or Defies ready when you're defending. So I just thought it was good to throw in here for now. And then Reaver's Row, when you defend here, you may move a friendly unit here to base. So that also helps you just keep your units alive when you're defending, especially your top important, like this Yasuo here is only a 4-might unit. But the fact that he has to move 3 times to trigger his ability means more than likely he won't end at your base. There are ways you can do it, but it's just not too likely. But that's pretty much the Irelia deck in this move category. I do want to take a quick look at the other one I built. This one's just I guess more control focused. We've got Caitlyn in here, which we'll talk about in the next deck, so I'll skip over for now. But there's a lot of tank units here with shield, so that when you're using these targeted abilities, you're able to, or because this is full with a bunch of targeted abilities, your might totals should overtake your opponents. But this one's not completely built. I do want to make some changes here because I don't know exactly where my attackers are in this deck, to say the least. But yeah, for the Azir deck, let's just go over the ability. The legend ability is your Sand Soldiers have Weapon Master, and you may pay 1 and tap him to play a 2-might Sand Soldier unit token to your base, and use only if you played an equipment this turn. So 2 things. Weapon Master is a new effect in the game, which Lucian has. It says when you play me, you may pay equip cost for 1 recycle less, even if it's already attached. So that effect is on all of your units that you make with this deck. And the second part of his effect is you only get those units if you played equipments this turn. So we did fill this up with a lot of equipments. I might have to go down in equipments. It might be a bit too much, but or maybe spells. I don't know for sure, but it might be a bit too much, but we'll see. But let's talk about the equipment. So we got Doran Shield, which gives the attached unit +1 might and also tank. Guardian Angel once again, which can keep your units alive. And then Blade of the Ruin King gives a unit +4 might. But the equip cost is fairly high. You have to kill a friendly unit. So it's a bit strange in this deck because the units you want to kill normally for a cost like this, I'll say, is tokens. But your tokens in this deck are the ones with Weapon Master, so you can't exactly play out a token and then equip this to said token, because you mostly want to kill that token. I did throw in this Soaring Scout as a target to kill as well, and this if you really want to get crazy. But I was just trying to think what Death Knell units would be less important to have than your tokens. But if you have this out, that's a great target too. to kill with the Blade of the Ruin King, and then attaching this to a token, making a 6 mighted token. Simply off playing, or off 4, what is this, 4 total technically, and a recycle. And then the other equipment gear in here is Swellsonger. You can equip this for 1 and a green, and it says attach this, or as this is attached to a unit, copy that unit's text to the equipment's effect for as long as it's attached to it, and then +0 might. So you get essentially in this deck, you get mostly just double the trigger, because I don't have anything like holding. Maybe what's her name, Ari, the green Ari, that when you hold you gain a point, might be good to go in this deck, and just build it around control and keeping 1 point active, so you can completely overtake your opponent's, or speed past your opponent with gaining points, just by holding. But I don't know how well that already would go with this ability. That's why I didn't put her in here. It seems more like a swarm deck, so I wanted to make something a bit less less heavy on defending, and especially because you can only play these Sand Soldier unit tokens to your base, unlike the Victor deck, which is similar, but you can play those to your base or battlefields you control, by paying 1 and tapping it. Other spells we've gone over before, back to back, give 2 units +2 for this turn. Discipline, give a unit +2 and draw 1. Defy, Feral Strength, give a unit +2 and with the repeat. Yasuo's back in this deck just to help you get into locations, especially if you have this attached to it, then you can deal 10 with his ability, while also just him having 10 might, or attaching Swellsonger to him, and you trigger this twice. So you'll attack and you can deal your might to a unit, probably killing it for 6, and then doing it again because Swellsonger is attached to it, doing another 6 to somebody. Tasty Faithfolk, like I said, a good Death Knell trigger, but also has Accelerate. Pretty expensive, but I thought would be fine in this deck, especially if you can attach something like a Blade of the Ruin King, or kill it with Blade of the Ruin King if you feel like you just want those runes in the draw. But having this as an Accelerate with a good death effect to channel 2 runes and draw 1, I thought would be good in this deck. Star Wars Pro, pretty standard. So on Scout, we already went over. Caitlyn, though, is a pretty. I think this might be a good set for this card. Caitlyn's effect is really strong, but her base might isn't. So her effect says, I must be assigned combat damage last, and it says tap her to deal damage equal to my might to a unit at a battlefield. Use this ability while I am at a battlefield. So it's a bit of a glass cannon, Caitlyn is, because before, because I tried to build her into a deck before, but I ended up taking her out because she was only at 3 might. But because she has to be at a battlefield to use her effect, not only that, she has to be active at first at a battlefield to use her effect. Seemed really, I don't know, like, unsafe. I know she must be assigned combat damage last, but even the fact that she can only deal her might to units at the other battlefield is not too strong at 3, because there are tons of units that are 3 or higher. So I didn't put her in any decks before, but with the fact that we have these equipments now that will continue to buff the Caitlyn, you get a Blade of the Ruin King attached to her, then you're dealing 7 damage. You get Swellsonger attached to her, then this ability triggers twice. So I believe it would be the same unit that you targeted, just dealing 3 to it twice. And on top of that, there's, you know, these cards to now buffer up. You can buffer up by 4 with this, buffer up by 4 with 12 Songer attached. Then you're dealing 7 twice to a unit. So really, really strong in decks like this, where you can have static effects or static buffs to her that are more than just the regular buff tokens that we had before. Not only helping her with her ability, but helping her in defense. So you don't have to have a super strong unit in front of her to take all the damage. Now she can just be a 7 might with this Blade of the Ruin King, even being at 4 with the Dorn Shield or Guardian Angel. Even though Tank does take away from her first ability, but still just adding that might to the total seemed really strong for her. And then battlefields for this deck, we have Reaver's Row to move from the unit back and protect it. Like I said, mostly for the Caitlyn. Windswept Hillcock units here have ganking. I thought was very important because of the fact that you want to make these Weapon Master units. So they'll be pretty strong, but they don't have any other effect outside of the ones that these gears give to them. And if it's 12 Songer, it literally does nothing for them. But giving them ganking at the right time, or controlling the field with ganking so that you can attack in to the other battlefield later, stealing that with your units without having to retreat them to base first, seems really strong. And plus with this Yasuo, also really strong. Would be unfortunate with the Caitlyn if you're not controlling this battlefield and your opponents have ganking and they can come over into your battlefield with, you know, a full army from both their base and this battlefield. But hopefully you just don't do that. And then Candlelit Sanctum. When you conquer here, you may look at the top 2 cards of your main deck and then recycle 1 or both of them. This is really good for finding your units. Like I said, you do run a lot of gear in this deck. Might drop like the seals or something. I thought these were important because of these cards here that you want to attach to. None of these have Weapon Master. So definitely not the final build for Azir, because, you know, once set 2 is fully released, I'm sure a lot more cards in green and yellow will have Weapon Master or will be Sand Soldiers. So they will have Weapon Master in this deck. So you won't really need these seals to constantly pay the equip cost, but that's why I threw these in here. That's something that I forgot to mention when I went over this. The fact that these are 2 separate effects, that your Sand Soldiers have Weapon Master and the Make a Sand Soldier unit token are 2 separate effects, make me think, I mentioned this before in a past video, but it makes me think that there will be cards for Azir that are Sand Soldiers, much like how this is his champion unit, Yasuo Ionia. So like that's him and where he comes from. This one says Shumuri, I think that says. And then like this one's a Poro, so maybe there'll be units like this where it's like unit, Sand Soldier. So in this deck specifically, it will have Weapon Master, but in any other deck it wouldn't. So that's probably another way that they're going to have these, so we can drop these 2 gear seals. But yeah, that being said, that is the deck breakdown. So let's hop right into the game. Like I said, I'll be playing the Irelia because it's a move deck, and you know I need to play me a move deck. Unfortunately, I don't get a unit to play out on curve, but so I just take the 2 runes and pass the turn. And we have for our battlefields Candlelit Sanctum and the Dreaming Tree. And then my brother-in-law is playing Azir, and he plays out the what is this called? Soaring Scout and a seal of, I don't know what the green one is, but a green seal. I do get to play out the Wither Water this turn, tapping 3 and leaving 1 up for a Defy just in case. I need it, but I doubt I will. And this early in the game. So now we're just waiting on him. I actually forgot where the gaps are in this game. So he taps 2 to play out the Guardian Angel, and then taps 1 in his leader to play out the Sand Soldier. And then I was showing him where to make the unit tokens at. There are no unit tokens for Sand Soldiers, so we just use the recruits, knowing that they have Weapon Master and they're supposed to be 2 might. And because it has Weapon Master, that means he can equip this without paying a recycled rune, which is fine. Guardian Angel does keep it alive for now and gives it another might. So it does buff it a little bit, and sort of just your unit can hold it for now. And because of the fact, I know in the last video we went over the Draven deck, which had his spinning blades as a equipment, but those specifically said temporary, which means they go away at the beginning or at somebody's beginning phase if it's not equipped. But because these don't say temporary, I believe these just stay. I don't know what happens if they go away at a battlefield. Maybe they get retreated back to base. That makes the most sense, to equip it to another unit after. But he, Jesus Christ, he moves his Soaring Scout to the Candlelit Sanctum, and then he attaches it. We figure out how to attach cards in this game with the Guardian Angel. So he conquers that, allow him to get it. I debate on whether or not I want to attack the Soaring Scout. I think I do, just so he doesn't get another hold point. So I attack him 2 into 1. Also conquering the Candlelit Sanctum, gaining a point here. And then looking at the top 2, I bottom deck one of the Wheeler of Waters because I have a pretty decent curve here. I have the Traveling Merchant now. I play him, or I'm meant to play him to that battlefield, so I can use this flash, so I can move them both back, and then use Irelia effect to untap my Traveling Merchant. And then because I move the Traveling Merchant, I get to discard 1 and draw 1. I discard the Defy because I don't think he has a lot of spells that I need to counter. Then I play a Seal of Focus, moving him again, and then I have the hardest decision in the world. Do I want to discard the Yasuo or the Yasuo? Like which yeah, which game plan am I going for the win here? I decide to play with the purple Yasuo to try to what you call it, to win with that effect, because I haven't gotten to play with the purple Yasuo yet. I have the green Yasuo. I play with him, or I play with him in my locals, and before I don't even own the purple Yasuo. So I'm like, let me play this out with this guy real quick. It might have not been the smartest decision, because with this purple, or with the green Yasuo, I can essentially nuke these tokens that he's creating. But the purple Yasuo puts me into a fight before I can deal that damage. But yeah, he retakes the Candlelit Sanctum. I was trying to bait him to the Dreaming Tree, but it's fine. I'll leave the Ride the Wind in my hand. I was going to use the Ride the Wind to target my Traveling Merchant, which would have triggered Dream Tree, so I could have drawn a card, and then the Traveling Merchant would have moved again, so I would have discarded 1 and drawn 1. But yeah, he's just looking at his top 2, deciding on what to recycle or put to the top of his deck. And I think he put them both back to the top. Plays another Guardian Angel here, and then taps for another token, group token, 2 might token, and then attaches the Guardian Angel to it. And then we have and then he taps 2 for another Soaring Scout. Just I guess unfortunate draws on his part, because that literally is everything. So he pays the recycle cost to attach the Guardian Angel to the Soaring Scout instead. And that's sort of what I was talking about with just having your recruit tokens hold them for a while. But now I get to do this meditation, which, like I said, I choose the traveling merchant. So I draw two, and then because I chose them at the dreaming tree, I draw one for dreaming tree, and then I can use Irelia effects to tap her, recycling a rune, to have him to activate him again, if I wanted to. But I guess that's not what I go for here. I don't know what I go for here. Um, Maybe I should have set up that Yasuo this turn instead of drawing two, especially because I have the tie turn in hand. So I do tap, I guess. Oh, I tapped the rune to pay the recycle cost. So I do end up tapping my leader in the rune to stand back up the traveling merchant. And now I have, oh, I push up the Wielder of Water to fight 4 and 4. Or I guess I take that back. Yeah, I must have taken that back because I didn't want him to die. Um, oh, right. So in my head, very important thing here. In my head, I was gonna move Wheel of Water up and then use this Serix gauge. I think that's if I can, thank you. Yeah, Sterix gauge. It has the quick draw tab. I didn't go over this again, but quick draw means it can be played at reaction speed, and be attached to a unit you control. So, attacking into here and then quick drawing Serix Gauge onto the Wielder Water would have made me win that, but I had already used up my rune and I only have one green rune available in my pool to recycle with. I need two. So instead I just play the Traveling Merchant here, and then move this back so I can draw and discard. I discard the Ride the Wind. Oh, no, I don't. I discard the Starward Portal and I get another Sterix Gauge. And I think that was my whole point that I forgot to get. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to set up a play with this Yasuo in hand, but I just don't think I have the correct setup for it. He retreats these back to base, but he then realizes that's a mistake because his Kayla needs to be at a battlefield to do it, or to do her effect. So he puts them back and then just plays the Caitlyn there, instead of retreating them. And then he recycles another to attach the Guardian Angel to the Caitlyn, which I think is smart, because not only does she have 3 might in front of her before she can take damage, but now she has a extra bonus might. And then I use the Ride the Wind here to move the Traveling Merchant and draw. Maybe I should just let him die. He does come back already, but it doesn't matter. And he has the Defy. So I actually was moving too fast. I believe because this Defy says counter a spell, it means it does not trigger, like my entire spell does not trigger. So I don't even get the choosing effect of the Ride the Wind. Because this is happening, I believe at this speed the reaction is happening before the Ride the Wind at action speed. So I put the card back to the top of my deck, because he countered it, and the Traveling Merchant dies anyways, and I waste the Ride the Wind, which is going to be very important near soon. So he gets another conquer, and his whole point that he forgot to have. And I think he retreats 1 unit back to uh, his base just to save for later. Um, but he's down to 1 card, which makes me think I do need to make some to add some more draw into that deck. I have the Sterix Gauge available to me now, but instead I just attack with the Wheel of Water, 4 into 3, which will kill the token. But because it has Guardian Angel, the Guardian Angel will die instead, and the token just goes back to his base. I do gain the Conquer Point, and then I play the Yasuo here. yeah, I play the Yasuo here, and I just do this all too early. Play Yasuo here, and then it's just the third time you move, it gains a point. So then I played the Tide Turner. I should not have played the Tide Turner here. The idea is play the Tide Turner, target the Yasuo, then I can use then so that counts as a move because that's what this says. You move the targeted unit to where he was and move him to where the target unit was. So I target the Yasuo, which will move him to base, so that's one, and then I ready him with Irelia, and then I can move him again, that would be two, but then I would need another move card to move him up for the third time to score that extra point. So I accidentally did this way too early, unfortunately. So I didn't get the effect, or the other way around would have worked if I had moved, if I had played Yasuo here, played Tide Turner here. That would have been one move here to actually no, then no, it still wouldn't work. It still wouldn't work. Never mind. But yeah, now I'm tapped out and and I've shown my hand. Um, so I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm attacking. And then I draw a discard. I probably should have discarded one of the Sterix gauges because I really only need one of those in a game because of that two recycle cost is fairly expensive, and that Wielder of Water is a 4 attacker in the right spots. Um, so, but this is fine. It is currently, what's that, 5-6. So if they don't have anything in their hand to buff up their board, I would win it. I think this is when he steps away for a second, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Yeah, there it is. I just saw the cut. I saw the cut. So I conquer, but they do kill my Yasuo here. So maybe I just should have waited a turn and still tried to get that extra point off. But I don't know. It's a lot of misplays. A lot of misplays. You gotta bear with me with this first time playing this deck. But yeah, I'm just waiting for them to, I guess, declare who the damage is going to. Oh right, he accidentally trashed the Caitlyn. He should have just trashed the Guardian Angel. Wow, what happened? Did he not declare damage? Did we just forget to do damage? All right, a lot of a lot of mistakes here, y'all. I guess we just forgot to declare damage against me, so my Yasuo really should be dead here. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened there because he still had 5 damage to put somewhere, and it more than likely would have went into the Yasuo. But hey, we live and you learn. Um, so they get the Swell Songer out, and then they play something else, which I believe terrifies me, so I retreat. Oh, I went to go look up a card. Yeah, because we were talking about Weapon Master. Oh yeah, and this is when I saw the Here to Help. I thought I dreamed this card. Yeah, because I was like, where did this card come from? It looks pretty cool. Makes me want to build that last deck. I don't know her name, but that Battle Mistress deck down there. I don't have a deck for. I do want to figure out something soon, but the matchups that we have already been played, so we'll figure out something for that later. Yes, but then he plays Yasuo, which was the card he was holding in his hand the entire time. You can attack in with these recruit tokens to try to get some board clear. Completely trade out because I was tapped out. You could completely trade out for the Dreaming Tree with just his recruit tokens. But the fact that the Yasuo came down and the Swell Songer is on board, I'm like, it's time to reevaluate. gotta take these back. So I move the Traveling Merchant just to draw. I'm trying to debate how I can move this Yasuo 3 times to gain a point, but if I do, it would more than likely leave him at a battlefield. So instead, I just set up playing out the Star Wars Portal and the Staris Gauge, and then I'm just explaining the quick draw ability to them, so I can attach it to a unit off the back, and then I have to figure it out. So I group this, and it groups the wrong way. Oops, but this is fine. So now I have my Yasuo buffed up by 3, so he's a 7 might, and I have another one in hand plus this Feral Strength. He changes his playmat because the Yasuo came down. You gotta appreciate somebody who cares about his aura. So yeah, 9 runes available, 1 card in hand though. So and they really have to try to take a battlefield or stack up the battlefield. Luckily for me, I did get the turn to retreat my units. So right now it's pretty much GG's. He attaches the Swell Songer to Yasuo, but the Yasuo is a attacking trigger, and I have no units at battlefields. So it really means nothing at this point. And he can't just allow me to get my turn back because I'll just split my units up and score 2 points and win. So he has to take a battlefield here. He can stack one up completely, which will make things difficult for me. But as long as my Yasuo survives, he has ganking, so I can move all my units into the battlefield that he controls, target the Yasuo with the Feral Strength, make it ready again with my leader ability, and then use the ganking effect to then conquer the other battlefield. So he moves 3 there, gaining another point, going up to 5. And then he moves 1 to the other one, going up to 6, which is fine by me. The only thing that I'm worried about is if he has like a whatchamacallit in hand, a Hidden Blade in hand. Actually, I don't think I'll put Hidden Blade in this deck. But could be a good card in this deck to get some card draw. Kill your own token and get some card draw. It's not bad. Or kill the whatchamacallit. So I decided to move the Staris Gauge to the Star Wars Portal, just so I can use the other one. I use the Feral Strength for 1, gaining a point here, so I should be at 7. Use the repeat effect to push him up to 8 might, then use Irelia effect to have him become readied, and then I can use, and because he's at Dreaming Tree, I draw, and then I should add a point here, but I think I'm just going for game. Yeah, so then I just move out, use the ganking effect to move him there, and then I'm already winning this. They have no cards in hand. Even if they had cards in hand, I had another Staris Gauge to use. I probably should have used the no, that would have maybe not have enough for the Staris Gauge. But yeah, so yeah, that would be the 8th point, and that is GG's, because let me at least do the math. Yasuo is at 8. This was 2 plus 3, so 5. 2, so 15. 17, 19 to 3, 6, 12, 14. So yeah, it was 19 and 14 for the final math. So yeah, GG's to my brother-in-law, and that is pretty much it. So this deck seems strong, even without having everything that it has for it. So I'm really excited to see the actual support that she gets. I think I believe this is my final guess for her effect. The choosing a friendly unit does count for these gears. It wouldn't really make sense for her to come out with the rest of the gears if they didn't count. Like if she just couldn't use what this set is all about, which is the equipment gears. So I believe that choosing a friendly unit counts for these gears. That would make the most sense to me. But I don't have the rule book in front of me, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, she seems really strong. The Azir can be really strong. I think I didn't build this deck in the best way. Like I said, Hidden Blades would be nice here so you can draw more. Like we only have Discipline to help you draw, and the Tasty Faithful to help you draw in here, but there isn't a lot of draw in here. And so when he got down to one card in hand, I was just like, well, we can't really do much just on top deck mode. And I was able to take the game from there. So yeah, maybe building this a bit more focused on the defense aspect with this Caitlyn, if I'm building, or if I'm having it specifically built with this Caitlyn in mind, or completely building it around the attacking aspect if I'm building with this Yasuo in mind. But then again, we don't even have the champion units for either of these decks, so maybe those will completely change the way we build these decks going forward. But yeah, with that being said, that is all we have for today's video. Make sure you subscribe if you want more Riftbound content. I appreciate the support for so far with Riftbound. I don't know what Monday's video will be, but I will see you all then. Remember to support your local card shops, and goodbye.